This is the Shed Aquarium, which is in Chicago, Illinois. It used to be called the John G. Shed Aquarium. This aquarium opened in May of 1930. The aquarium contains over 30,000 fish, and it used to be the largest aquarium in the world with 5 million gallons of water. It was the first aquarium with a permanent saltwater fish collection, and it's in the part of Chicago that also has the Planetarium Field Museum, and it's on Lake Michigan. Annually, 2 million people visit the aquarium, and in 2005 it was the most visited aquarium in the United States. And in 2007 it was more popular than the Field Museum as the cultural attraction in Chicago. This aquarium came from John G. Shed. He was giving it as a gift. He was a native of Chicago, and he worked for Marshall Field and Company. He used to be a stock boy, and then he became the president. And because he thought that every great city in the US and Europe had a really great aquarium, that he thinks that Chicago should have a really good aquarium as well. He wanted a marble, impressive building with a collection of water animals from around the world that would complement the other fine institutions in Chicago. The aquarium cost $3 million to build and originally had 132 exhibit tanks. The permanent collections of the Shed Aquarium are Waters of the World, Caribbean Reef, Amazon Rising, Wild Reef, Stingray Touch, and the Abbott Oceanarium, which is my favorite part. The Oceanarium was opened in 1991, and it's a very large addition that includes marine mammals such as dolphins, beluga whales, sea otters, and sea lions, and penguins. It holds 3 million gallons of water, and some of the otters were rescued from an oil spill. In 2008, there was some upgrades made to the Oceanarium, so it was closed for a while, and it reopened in 2009. The aquarium contains 1,500 species, which can include fish and marine mammals, birds, snakes, amphibians, and insects. I've noticed that on the weekends, the aquarium is a lot busier than on weekdays. This is the Greater Cleveland Aquarium, which is in Cleveland, Ohio. It's in the historic First Energy Powerhouse building, and the aquarium actually opened in January of 2002, so it's a fairly new aquarium. The aquarium has 70,000 square feet of exhibit space. And this is actually the only freestanding aquarium in the state of Ohio. The total cost of the facility was roughly about $33 million. $18 million of the dollars was for the building and its related infrastructure, and $15 million was for the exhibits of the aquarium. In January 2012, the aquarium opened, and it had 8 exhibit areas. The exhibit areas were the Ohio Lakes and Rivers, the Lakes and Rivers of the World, Discovery Zone, the Pacific, Northern Pacific, Coastal Coral Reef, and a shark sea tube. They also have a touch tank for stingrays, which you'll see a little video clip of. They also have a giant tortoise exhibit where you can walk in and be close to the tortoises.
Oh, wow.
There was a previous Cleveland Aquarium which opened in February of 1954, and it was located in Cleveland on the east side near Gordon Park. It was created by a group that formed in the 1940s called the Cleveland Aquarium Society. The Cleveland Museum of Natural History operated the facility. It was housed in a building constructed in the 30s that previously served as a bathhouse. And in 1943, the Museum of Natural History converted it into a trailside museum displaying local flowers and freshwater fish from Lake Erie. And that museum closed in 1953 when the Cleveland Memorial Shoreway cut Gordon Park in two. And in the early 1950s, the Cleveland Museum of Natural History had aquatic exhibits on its second floor, and then they moved as well. There were structural problems with the building, and it closed in 1985. The former aquarium site became a police dog training facility, and in April of 1986, fish and exhibits were moved to the Metro Park Zoo of Cleveland, and they also remain there today. This is the Georgia Aquarium. This aquarium is in Atlanta, Georgia, and it houses more than 100,000 animals, 10 million gallons of water. It's the largest aquarium in the Western Hemisphere, and it used to be the largest aquarium in the world when it opened in 2005, and it remained the largest aquarium in the world in 2012, and then it was surpassed by an aquarium in Singapore called Marine Life Park. The location of this aquarium is downtown Atlanta, and the land was donated by Coca-Cola. It opened in November of 2005, and it has 550,000 square feet, and it has tanks that hold 8 million gallons of water, fresh and salt. It took 27 months of construction to build this aquarium, and it has 60 animal habitats. This aquarium is the only aquarium in the United States or anywhere in the world outside of Asia that houses whale sharks, and they're kept in a 6.3 million US gallon tank. The whole aquarium was designed around this exhibit. They were flown in from Taiwan, and if they were not flown in for this aquarium, they would have been eaten. Now there's a ban on capture of whale sharks, so they probably won't be getting any more. They also acquired a manta ray that had been accidentally caught in nets, and that also resides in the Ocean Voyager exhibit. And it's the first manta ray exhibited in this country. This is Atlantis, which is in the Bahamas, and they have a series of aquariums which are beneath the lobby of the Royal Towers, and they also have the largest open-air marine habitat in the world. You can see hundreds of different aquatic species, and they have such fish as angelfish, sharks, manta rays, which they have one that is larger than 10 feet, and they have jellyfish. They have other areas of the aquarium at Atlantis besides the dig. They have the Predator Lagoon, which has sawfish, barracudas, stingrays, and sharks. You can see sharks and other animals through clear tunnels. They have a ruin lagoon, which guests can snorkel in, and you can see many different types of fish. They have Caribbean reef sharks and nerf sharks at the Mayan Temple Shark Lagoon, which you can see them from all types of views, including seeing them during a water slide. They have an endangered alligator gar. There's an estuary lagoon, which has many newborns. They have stingrays there. There's a reef lagoon that has nurse sharks, and they spend a lot of time resting on the bottom. There's another area called the Hibiscus Lagoon, where they have a group of giant sea turtles, and sometimes you can see people feeding and touching the turtles. They have many other types of stingrays and black tip reef sharks as well. They also have an area where you can see hammerhead sharks. And there's just many other fish at Atlantis to see.